this assessment, we're asked to give the IUPAC name for the amide on screen. Now, when we get into carboxylic acid derivatives, especially ones with other functional groups, naming can get somewhat complicated. The key here is let's be systematic. So the first thing we're going to start with is because it's an amide, we have to identify the group that's attached to the nitrogen. And we're going to do this, we're going to indicate it in the name using an italics N. So here we have an isopropyl group attached to the nitrogen. So we know that our name is going to be led with this N isopropyl. So we'll come back and see how we put that into the name, but that's what we're going to lead with. Now, once we've done that, we can number our carbons of the remaining chain. And IUPAC tells us to start numbering at the amide carbon, and so we're going to go right to left. And since this molecule is an amide, everything else, the alkene and the alcohol, are going to have to be indicated as functional groups. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. So we know that this is going to be a hex. It's going to be hex. Now, there is an alkene. So if we think about it, should this be hexane, hexene, hexine? Because there's an alkene, it's going to be hexene, but we have to indicate the position of that double bond. So it's going to be hex 5-ene is going to be the way we name the chain. Now, the only thing we haven't named is what's at carbon 4, the hydroxyl group. In some cases, for alcohols, we would have them end in OL, but because this molecule is an amide, the hydroxyl group is a functional group. So we're going to use the hydroxy to tell us that we have a functional group of an alcohol. So we're going to say that it is 4-hydroxy hex 5-ene. Now, that's the whole name, so we can simply finish this with put the amide here. So the molecule is 4-hydroxy hex 5-enamide. We're going to put the N-isopropyl in front, making it one word. Hopefully, let's see if I have managed the space correctly. Close. N-isopropyl 4-hydroxy hex 5-enamide. Are we done? Not yet. Notice that this hydroxyl group is at carbon 4 is a stereocenter, so we have to name it as R or S. And so we do that by assigning priorities. Luckily, this one already has the hydrogen as the lowest priority substituent going back. I'm going to switch colors with these numbers, so we'll put that as the number 4 so it doesn't get confused with the other numbers. Oxygen versus carbon is going to be number 1. We have a carbon versus carbon. They're tied. Carbon 5 is attached to 2 carbons. Carbon 3 is attached to only 1 carbon. So it gets the number 2 priority. This carbon gets the 3. We can look, we're going in this direction, which is clockwise with the lowest priority substituent going back. So this molecule is going to be R. And if we want to put the number in front, we can. 4R N-isopropyl 4-hydroxy hex 5-enamide is the IUPAC name for this molecule.